Hey Sarah, let's take a look at your week 3 assignment 3 drawing. The drawing itself is looking very good overall. I think you're continuing to do a good job on the object itself in creating a texture that is not too overstated but works out to just kind of get the information across. The coloring is excellent in it, very convincing still, and you've got the value in place and perspective looks to be in place, which is great to see. The environment itself also, I think, just balances out well. It's kind of feels like this object is being rendered to its capacity, and so it feels very finished, it feels very full, it feels very layered, and the background just seems like it doesn't have as much substance to it, so it sets itself into the background probably more so than what we see with most other people's work. And it's, I think, both a good thing and not necessarily a bad thing, but there are, I think, some negatives to it. The good is obviously that this remains the main focal point and there isn't anything going on in the background that's going to take away from that. It also feels like it fits within the kind of color scheme well. Everything just kind of works together nicely. The oranges and yellows in the wood, we can kind of refer directly back to the cabinet, and the walls, I think, just have kind of a nice lightness and kind of pastel like feeling to them, that they both feel very much at home with the lighter wood floor, and you can also see kind of the yellows working within the wood. So everything just kind of fits together color-wise, I think, extremely well. But at the same time, you know, detail is very minimal, so I almost feel like even seeing a very limited amount of wood grain in the wood on the floor would be nice, and having at least a little bit of color in place on the floor would be nice, other than just kind of the line work that's making up the slats. I can see some colored pencil in place throughout, but I think you could go with a little bit more of a substantial coloring. The other thing is, perspective wise, you know, everything feels like it's working out well, other than some of these slats that are making up the kind of the short end of the slats. I think those actually need to make sure that they're all moving towards the vanishing point. Some of them do, most of them do, but a few of them don't, and some of the slats are a little uneven in size. You've got some that are a little thicker and some that are very thin, for instance like this one and this one, compared to the one that's over here, which is a lot thicker. So there is a little bit of unevenness to things, and that's probably one of the more difficult things to do, is making sure that things in perspective are the same size as you kind of move your way kind of down the line. I don't so much mind the warping that's occurring back here. It doesn't really seem that big of a deal to me. I do like the value adjustment that you've made in the wall in the corner, which is good, and overall the environment feels like it's, you know, it fits together. I do wish there was a little bit more to it. I don't think too much more, but even a little bit more, you know, on the floor, maybe a little more value adjustments here could give it, you know, that weight that would help to make it feel more substantial. But overall, I think it's a great job, and it's definitely a good precursor to the next week, where we'll deal with a lot more kind of environments that'll have to be built up more. So I think this is just a great way to kind of get into that, and it's a good solid assignment altogether.